Children, let's see sums on shares and dividend, which involves brokerage and GST on brokerage. Now, before I move on to this particular sum, let me come out of shares and dividend and give you a very simple example of brokerage, right? Say, for instance, I'm having a car which I would like to sell it. The car got sold, right, for 2 lakh rupees, right? Now, there was an agent or a broker in between. Now, broker demanded earlier only, before the transaction took place, that I shall take 5% of brokerage. So, the car got sold at 2 lakh. Broker is going to take 5% from me. So, how much am I going to get? Am I going to get 2 lakh on my hand? No, I'm not going to get 2 lakh in my hand. I'm going to get 2 lakh, which is the selling price or resale price of my car, minus brokerage, 5%. 5% of 2 lakh is 10,000. 5% of 2 lakh is 10,000. So how much money will I receive in my hand? 2 lakh is the selling price, resale value, minus brokerage, 10,000. 1,90,000 is what I'm going to have net on my hand, right? So what we are learning via this example, we are learning is that whatever could be the market value while selling, we always have to subtract from that market value brokerage, or for that matter any other charges such as GST. It's only after subtraction of those charges from the market value, that is the actual value we left in our hand. That is what we receive in our hand. Right, children? Just keep this in mind. Now we come to shares and dividend. In shares and dividend, brokerage is always calculated on market value. Keep this in mind. Always. Wherever, in whichsoever sums you deal, you come across brokerage, brokerage is always calculated on market value. And GST is always calculated on brokerage. GST is always on brokerage. It's the service applied. Right? Brokerage on market value. Keep this in mind. Let's start with this one. Sums involve brokerage. Jaina sold shares of face value rupees 100. So let's write down step by step what data we have. Face value of a share is rupees 100. Okay. Jaina sold shares of face value rupees 100 when the market value was rupees 50. So when the market value was rupees 50, MV is 50. Now we are not interested whether he is getting profit or loss. Sir, 100 rupees share, face value, sold at 50. We are not interested. Jaina sold shares of face value rupees 100 when market value was rupees 50 and received 4988.20 rupees. So amount received after selling of the shares. So amount received on selling is rupees 4988.20. She paid 0.2% brokerage. Brokerage is 0.2% and GST on brokerage is 18%. GST on brokerage is 18%. Then how many shares did Jaina sell? How many shares did Jaina sell? What do you think so? If you have listened to me very carefully, what is this amount which she is having in her hand? It is amount after deduction of brokerage and GST on it. It is that amount. Are you getting me? We just need to find out how many shares did she sell off. Okay, so what are we going to do is, first we are going to calculate 0.2% of brokerage. So we know face value, we know market value, amount received is what we are aware of. So what we are going to say, now brokerage is 0.2%. But 0.2% of what? What did I say? It is always on market value, 0.2% of 50, because the market value is 50. So 0.2 by 100 into 50. 1 times, 2 times, 1 times, 0.1 times, rupee 0.10, or you can say 10 paise. But since our sum involves rupee, we'll write down 0.10. So this is nothing but my brokerage. This is nothing but my brokerage. But there is some kind of GST on brokerage. Also, GST on brokerage is how much? 18%. So GST charges is 18% of brokerage. So 18% into 0.10. 18 by 100 into 0.10, or even if you don't want to write down 0.10, you can simply claim it as 0.1. Shall I say 18 into 0.1 is 1.8, mere shift of decimal, upon 100? Can I say 0.018? There are two decimals, so 1 and one more 0, 1 and one more 0, 0.018 rupee. So these are the GST charges. These are the GST charges. So what is the amount Jaina receives after selling one share? Amount received on selling one share is 50, which is the market value, minus the brokerage charge. Minus the brokerage charge is 10 paise or 0.10, minus 0.018, minus 0.018, minus, so let me write down this over here, 50 minus, it's 50 minus 0.10 minus 0.018. Children, how much is 50 minus 0.10 minus 0.018 is 49.882. So she receives, after selling one share, 49.882 rupees. What is our question? Our question is, how many shares did she sell off? So can I say number of shares which she sold off is the amount received upon amount received on one share. So total amount received upon amount received on selling one share. So what is the total amount received? 4988.20. What is this? 49.882. Children, just understand the decimal part of it. There are three decimals, there are two decimals. If you just see after how many digits the decimals are there, can I say 1, 2, or simply if I just multiply this by 100, why am I just multiplying by this by 100? There are two answers. There are people who might say, sir, because there are two zeros, after 2 there are 2 digits, so that's the reason you're multiplying by 100. That is one reason. What am I saying? I'm saying is that I'm multiplying this by 100 so that I can make the denominator as 4988.2. After that, you can add 0. My numerator is already 4988.2. So what I do is, it's simply I multiply this by 100. I just multiply this by 100, this by 100. So can you tell me how the calculation is going to work out? This is only your way of thinking. My way is not going to do in this way. This is what you people are thinking. What I shall say after understanding this, I'm not going to go for all this process. I'm just going to tell myself 1 times and 100 times. This is what I wanted you to learn. And not that 100. 1 times 49.882. Can you check it out? 49.88.20. So how many decimals we just need to shift? 2. So 1 times 100 times. So I'm not in that particular process of multiplying by 100 and 1000 and all that stuff. That is what I did for your reference, that people will do in this way. I'll simply take. So number of shares is 100. As simple as that. Right, people? So what we learned? We learned in shares and dividend, sums based on brokerage. Brokerage is always calculated on market value and GST is always calculated on brokerage. What is the amount received on one share? Market value minus brokerage minus GST. That's it.